Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the J Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Nowakowski, and joined with the one and only George Martin. George, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, well, so your Greek friend Giannis got his chip, got his Finals MVP.
Yes, he did. So happy for that and the way they finished that series. That was a very good final series in total.
Yeah, for sure. I said on the last podcast they need to finish it off in Milwaukee. I felt if it went to 7 in Phoenix, I didn't know if they could win 2 in Phoenix, just because Phoenix has been so good at home. So getting that home court advantage, I felt they did have to finish the job there, which they did. They were down 15 at one point, correct?
It was close to double
That was
digits.
game 5.
Yeah, I think at one point after halftime it was up to 7 or 9. So
Yeah, but your boy Giannis, a 50 burger. Yeah, he dropped 50 in the finale. Got his 50 Chick-fil-A nugs the day after, and
that was so funny.
right. So Giannis's performance was all-time great finals performance. Just his numbers and what he did was just absolutely insane. I mean, where does it rank for you think?
Oh man, I'd have to look into some some research there, but I mean, off the top of my head, it's got to be a top 3, top 5 ever. Not even just his points, obviously phenomenal. 5 blocks, 14 rebounds, just a menace on both ends of the floor, and how he affected that game. I mean, they really had nothing all series, which was kind of a talking point coming into the series about how people felt that this Suns defense was the best that they had faced yet in the totality of the playoffs, and he posted his best numbers by far. He just went to another level I haven't seen from him ever. And just that last game, I mean, I think we're gonna cover this on our podcast soon, but about his closeout game numbers. But I mean, just thinking back, probably LeBron in 2016. I think maybe Dirks in 2011. Those are some up there, obviously, but
Uh-oh. George froze. Okay. Well, while George froze, I'm going to go over Giannis's numbers and see if we get him back. So Giannis's numbers in the finals were 35.2 points, 13.2 rebounds, 5 assists, and shot 61.8% from the field. Just like how good that really was. Oh, do we have George back? George is frozen. He's frozen. Well, hopefully we can get him back soon. We'll see. But yeah, just like how good he really was. And okay, so there goes George. He disconnected. I'm sure he'll come back in a sec. So I'm just going to talk then for a bit about it. Yeah, all-time great performance. I mean, those numbers don't lie on how good he really was. Posting those numbers in the final series, 35 points, 13 boards, shooting over 60%. And in the closeout game, 17 of 19 from the free throw line, which that was his big hiccup there was that free throw line, which I still think needs improvement, in my opinion. Still got to have some improvement there. And I think he's going to work on that in the offseason. But yeah, a great performance. Middleton and Holiday came up big for them as well, offensively and defensively as well. Not necessarily in the closeout game, but in the games prior. But Jrue Holiday's defense really showed out this series. He played really great. And yeah, I was super impressed with his performance. And just this Bucks team, a great run. I know I picked Suns in 6, but I was happy whoever won either way, because that meant either, CP3 gets a ring and Book gets a ring, and, they go from out of the playoffs last year to champions the following year, or Giannis gets a ring and the Bucks get a ring, and, and either way, is that small market team got a championship, which was super awesome. So I would have been happy either way. either way that it went, if it went from, if the Suns won or if the Bucks won. But, my prediction was wrong. Oh, well, got to eat that. But that's okay. And I'm hoping George can join fairly quickly. So because I have some Giannis questions for him. And some off-season quick talk. So I'm hoping he can join real quick. Let's see if he needs another link or not, but I'll see if he texts me about it. Oh, okay. Okay, so George is back in. He needs to connect his device. So he should be back in just a minute. Let's see. At the stream. He's loading up. He is loading up. Let's see, George. There he is. Welcome back. It's all good, George. It's all good, George. So I do have so I was just kind of bringing up Giannis's numbers, what he averaged. It was 35 points, 13 boards, 5 assists, shot 61% from the field. So very good performance. And in that closeout game, 17 of 19 from the free throw line. That was key. And it's great to celebrate now, but I think he needs to, learn to shoot better from the line, obviously. And then if he can get a mid-range game down, I mean, not even a three. Like, I'm not hell-bent on him getting a three-point shot down, but if he can get a good mid-range shot down, I mean, that would be great for his game. I mean, what do you think? Are you with the same? Do you want him to get the three ball, or are you more just focus on the line and at the mid-range game?
So the three ball specifically, I'm not the biggest fan of wanting him to develop that, like down the line, sure, but in the immediate future, no. He had a few plays that I noticed where I was shocked that he even took those shots and that they went in. There was one, he was backing down Jay Crowder. Chris Paul came over to help. He did a spin move, brought the ball over, and then hit like an elbow fade, like a midi. Mm-hmm. And if he just gets, it's almost like with KD. I know KD has a way more pure release and form, but nobody's going to block him if he can rise up and hit those 15-footers. Yeah, he's strong as hell to where he can back someone down, turn, and make it. So if he just gets a better feel and he's able to hit those like mid-range and especially hook shots as well in the post, he has taken a lot more of those and floaters as well. Mm-hmm. Nobody will even, no wall, no defense could stop that. And I feel like that's a lot more dangerous than him trying to work on three balls, which take years and years for you to be able to develop. He expanded his game so much just from this year. If you look at how he played in the bubble to this playoffs, complete 180. And if that only took a summer, I can only imagine what incorporating a little bit more of 15-footers and hook shots and better free throws would do for his game. Because then you can't foul him, do the Hakayani thing.
Yep.
And his whole offensive game just becomes unstoppable.
Yeah. And so I mentioned that I'm with you on that. I don't think he needs a 3-point shot like right now or even in the future. But I mean, so Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, they came up big defensively. They both had their offensive outbursts, but in the closeout game, defensively, they were both really good. And now them and Booker go to Tokyo to play for Team USA. They're all taking a private plane. Yeah, weird and awkward, but oh well, I guess. How much? I mean, are you expecting them to play a lot with Team USA, or what are you expecting from them?
I don't know now because they're getting there right before they start actually playing games that matter. And I feel like Team USA was able to gel a lot and start playing a lot better towards the end of their exhibition games. Obviously, we know they dropped the first, and then they won the last. Well, one got suspended, but yeah, they won their last two. And I mean, I think Drew will play the most out of those three because defense badly. They need perimeter defense because guys like Patty Mills and a bunch of these international players were just hunting Team USA players. So I feel like he will be needed the most. I think Chris Middleton will have a role as well. He's another above average defender for what's on the roster of Team USA. So D-Book might be getting the short end of the stick here. I mean, they're going to have guys like Levine in front of him, Dame in front of him, just a bunch of these other, scorers. KD's there, and they're going to need Bam, Draymond, Drew, like these high-level defenders to be on the court. So I feel like Book is probably going to get the least amount of playing time here.
Yeah. I think I think they're going to want Drew and Middleton defensively when they need a stop. And that's just something, I mean, they have so much offense. I mean, and Booker's great offensively, but so is everyone else on that team. So I think I would agree with you that it would be Book hitting the short end of the stick on it. And I just want to, so like, how great is it? Like, Giannis stayed in Milwaukee. He didn't join he talked about the super team talk, and it's like, how great is it for this small market team, to win a championship like this? And I think I would say whoever won, it was going to be considered a small market team. I know the Suns did make bigger moves, but both still small market teams. I mean, do you think this is something that could be repeated by another small market team or the Bucks again?
Yeah, I talked about this on our podcast. I think it's great for the NBA specifically. Small market team winning, more parity for fans. I know people have been asking for that. I didn't mind as much about that topic, but we got something we haven't seen in a while in terms of players on this big stage of the finals. Mm-hmm. And it also just it helps with more storylines and narratives, because now you have these smaller market teams going up against still the greatest players of our generation, the Stephs, LeBrons, KDs. They're all still there, Harden, obviously, with these younger stars who were unproven in the playoffs. So I think it's great for everyone around. It helps with media being able to cover other teams, other players outside of the normal. I know LeBron and Steph and all those guys are still going to get their fair share of headlines, but it felt nice to watch these guys, rise to the occasion on the playoffs, seeing Devin Booker in his first playoffs, seeing Giannis in his first finals and all that. I really enjoyed it. And honestly, for people like us who watch us so devoutly, I want to see guys like Levine and De'Aaron Fox and Shea, Shea already made the playoffs, but these guys who haven't set foot into the playoffs for their own first time and see them elevate their games, because I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. You really just, you covered it all right there. So I'm trying to look for it. You tweeted it out a bit ago. The numbers came out on the shooting percentages.
Oh yeah, I can pull it up for you and send it to you if you want.
About the bubble and this year's playoffs.
Yeah, it's interesting. You find it?
I found it. You're good.
Okay, I have it pulled up too.
Oh, okay. So this was someone else. So this was at the Laker Nation posted this. George retweeted it. Do you go over the numbers?
Alrighty. So we compare the shooting percentages from feet in the bubble playoffs last year and the 2020 playoffs this year. So from 0 to 3, this will be the bubble. 67%, 3 to 10 feet, 42%, 10 to 16 feet, 44%, 16 to the 3-point line, 41.5%, and then the 3-point line, 36%. 2021 playoffs, everything is higher besides the 10 to 16 feet percentage. So in reality, it shows you that these you could take this one of two ways. You could say that these playoffs had a higher outlier of shooting percentages and all that, but how I take it, and maybe you'll think the same, and a bunch of other people will, just that the bubble had normal tendencies of shooting percentages. Obviously, conditions weren't normal, but I honestly felt that throughout the playoffs we were seeing these players, these shooting numbers that felt like it was really replicating playoff basketball. Nothing that happened in the bubble really, besides Miami making the finals, but obviously we had an Atlanta Hawks 5 seed make the conference finals this year, so stuff like that can happen. I didn't really see anything where I'm like, okay, that guy can't do that. There was really nothing. I mean, TJ Warren had his thing in the first 8 games, but then they got swept by Miami in the playoffs. So it really didn't matter. Those 8 seeding games, if you want to be like, no one was trying. It was their first week in this bubble. They were just trying to get healthy into the playoffs, obviously. So that's where I have on it. I don't like to keep talking about the bubble. Obviously, if anyone had won it, you congratulate them. A championship's a championship. Obviously, Milwaukee deserved it this year. And I know, Nets were hurt, and Miami and this and that, and Atlanta, Philly, whatever. Everyone, a championship is a championship.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I mean, I was surprised seeing that the numbers were higher, but I mean, I think I'm with you. It just proves, okay, the shooting conditions and the playing conditions were similar. I mean, obviously, the living and being at Disney World the whole time and stuff, that was different, but the on court play was the same as basically any other playoffs, you know? So yeah, I'm with you there. And yeah, a championship's a championship. I know you guys are going to do it on your pod. You're going to go back to how far back? 25 years, and you're gonna make an excuse for everyone who won the championship, right?
Huh?
I said you guys on your pod are going to do an episode where you go back 25 years and discredit every champion, correct?
Yeah, I think we have it until 1985, and it's not so much
Okay.
discrediting. It's going to be something where this affected the playoff landscape and how this basically affected who won the championship.
Got it. And so I like that though, because like I'm sure you're gonna find something from the 85 season, like, oh, this person was hurt, but no one talks about that now. Like, cause there's the bubble talk and all of that. Oh, we're gonna be talking about the bubble forever. No, I feel like in 15 years we're gonna be like the Lakers were 2020 champions, and someone bring up, oh yeah, wasn't that kind of a weird one? Yeah, a little bit. Or like, oh yeah, Giannis beat Kevin Durant and nobody else. Well, no, he beat the full healthy Suns team. Yes, they lost Saric, and Tony Craig wasn't his best after being injured, but still they didn't lose key players. But yeah, I'm with you. A championship is a championship. It doesn't matter. Circumstances are a part of the game, as in every sport. And Harden and Kyrie not being healthy, they were unfortunate injuries. But I also put it on, at least on Harden's part, was he's not the healthiest guy. I know he has an interesting lifestyle where he's not always training. Kyrie was taking time off whenever he felt like it. It's like, so those injuries are like, well, I don't know if those happen if you're playing the whole time. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And another, I guess, like, I don't know. I like how I just saw a post on Instagram. It was, okay, Giannis did it by himself. LeBron went back to Cleveland and did it with Kyrie. And yeah, he did it with them. A few other, who else? Well, there's the Splash Brothers and stuff. But like, KD hasn't really done it when it's just KD. Like, even that OKC, like with Harden and Westbrook, it didn't work out for them. He went to the Super Team Warriors and he got his chips, and he creates another super team and circumstances happen and he lost in 7 to the Bucks, and now it's because he didn't have Harden. Well, yeah, I guess, but they still should have talent around them, in my opinion.
All I'm saying is when Yanni was playing the Nets, his two top teammates shot 40 and 36% from the field. So it was basically having a one-legged Harden out there for the whole time.
Yeah. So I want to do one last fun little thing I thought of as we were recording and waiting for you to come back. I'm like, I'm going to do this with George. So now we're into off-season talk. Rumors we've seen spiraling already, a lot of them involving the Lakers. So first I'm going to ask you, like, the first question will be how realistic on a scale of 1 to 10. And then the next one will be ranking which ones you would want. So Lakers need a point guard. Dennis Schroeder, not the answer. I love the guy, but he's not the answer. He's going to be involved in some sign and trade, I feel, or he won't be in a Laker jersey. So there are 3 point guards that have rumors to LA. There's Russell Westbrook, CP3, and then I'll say Damian Lillard. So starting with Russell Westbrook, on a scale of 1 to 10, how realistic do you see the Lakers getting him?
I do actually think this is somewhat realistic. I'll say like a 6 or something. I just feel like that with Washington, they're in this weird phase of their franchise. Like, they have a decent amount of young guys while also having a all-star backcourt, but they are aging. Both those guys are over 30. They're not in a place to compete in the East. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just went, give us like a THT, a Kuzma, Trez picks or whatever. That way they get younger, they get picks, and they can see what they can do, because I'm pretty sure they have most of their picks in the future. So I feel like that might be the most realistic one out of the three.
Okay, so you have Russell Westbrook as a 6. So CP3 then.
He's right behind Russ. I think he's the second most likely. The only thing there is he definitely is going to want to take advantage of one last contract because he did have an elite year. He got his team to the finals, first time him being in the finals. And he's been asking for 3 for $100 million from Phoenix. I don't know if they do that. We covered about how they have so many other young guys to pay, but he's going to seek a large contract. He can opt out, obviously, but is he going to take a mid-level exception from the Lakers for a season he might not even win a ring and he never gets, close to that 30 mil again? I don't really think so. There's an outside chance, but that one isn't too likely for me.
All right, and then Damian Lillard, your least real,
that's like a 1 or 2. That's a pipe dream, but
it is. It's a 2K trade dream. That's what it is right there.
We don't have a package. I don't think Portland is willing to flip him for like whatever players we give him and like 2 firsts. I think they're gonna want a ton of firsts back.
Well, I saw what Washington wants. Like what a package would look like. It would be a sign and trade with Schroeder and then one of either Kuzma or THT and then a pick.
Yeah, that's not enough for Damian Lillard.
No, for Westbrook.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Definitely if they could get Schroeder back as well, because I know I was saying like guys like THT, AC younger, but Schroeder would compete. You can surround him with those younger guys that the Lakers would give him, as well as already having Denny, Thomas Bryant, Rui. It's a good younger core, and if they get picks on top of theirs, they could still compete for a play-in seed while not having to pay, Russell Westbrook however much money they're going to pay him.
Yeah. I like that one. So, and then obviously, which one would you want the most?
Dame I'd want the most.
Yeah.
For sure. CP3 probably second, and I know it's kind of bad. I said Russ is probably the easiest. I love him, obviously, one of my favorite players growing up, but just basketball fit wise, Lakers need shooters badly, and they need good spacing around everybody to thrive with a LeBron and AD core. And I don't know if Russ really his skill set brings to that. Obviously, as like a point guard, he's perfect. Yeah, he's probably an upgrade of Dennis, but I don't know. I still would need to have shooters and AD playing the 5 to be convinced that Russell could work.
Yeah, I really do hope that the Lakers look at the film on the Bucks and what they did when they put Giannis at the 5 to see like, hey, this is something AD can do. And AD has a 3-point shot too already. Like that's nothing he needs to develop. Like he already has that. That's in his bag. So I hope the Lakers can take a book out of that and convince AD to do this and be like, we can get back to get you another chip if you are willing to play the 5, which I really hope he is. But
I mean, he did in the last year's playoffs en route to a championship, and it was the numbers on it were just they were dominant. I don't have them in front of me, but just like the plus minus and the stats of everyone else and shooting wise when he was there, and it's just a cheat code. And defensively, he's able to switch everything, and it unlocks their potential as a team.
Yeah. All right. So sorry.
Bomb.
I know. I just saw. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna move into baseball real quick and wrap this episode up, kind of. So yeah, Jeff Passan just now tweeted out the Tampa Bay Rays are finalizing a deal to acquire slugger Nelson Cruz from the Minnesota Twins. Okay, so the trade deadline is upon us.
That it is. That is something. Okay. Obviously, he's going to play DH. I don't think that is much of a question at all. But let's say, I mean,
it's a power hitter.
The Rays have definitely had something going here. I did not expect them to be as good as they've been all year. I don't know how, with them losing their ace and Blake Snell, but they're 1 game back of Boston. They're surely going to get that wild card if they don't win their division. So they're going to be in the playoffs. Great vet for the postseason. Obviously, their team just made the World Series, so they already have, they're already battle tested there. But I like it. I like it a lot for them. I don't know what they gave up, but I still like it nonetheless.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think it's a great deal getting a power bat like that. But look at that, Jeff Passanbaum as we record. That's fun. So sticking with the MLB, had a really weird 24 hours with Yermin Mercedes. He posts on Instagram saying he's done, he's retiring. He made a weird apology saying he's sorry and just weird stuff. And then today he posts like a rising phoenix. Like he's like, I'm back, I'm playing, I love this game. And I'm like, what? I just want to get your thoughts on what the hell is going on.
No, so I was actually with Costa yesterday. I know you two were we were tweeting about it back and forth on the timeline. I was with him when it happened, and I'm just like, what is this Yermin Mercedes news? And I sent it to him. He's like, he has no idea. He's freaking out. He's like pulling his hair over there. And I'm like, I'll just wait for a Jeff bomb. Then Jeff just like quote tweets the Instagram posts and all that. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't think at the time it was him actually retiring or leaving. I've seen it before happen where, guys, they post cryptic things. They remove everything from their bio that has to do with their team. And then they're back and they never end up leaving. Obviously, this was different because he had a post. It was like a black screen saying it's over. It looked pretty emotional. So for a glimpse, I thought maybe something would come of it. Obviously, I didn't think he was trolling or anything. He probably was going through something. Who knows? Maybe with the team, a family matter. And
I have my thoughts.
You do? Okay.
I think, yeah.
I'll wrap it up.
Finish and I'll go over.
Yeah, I'll wrap it up. But he probably slept on it. Maybe his family talked with him and said, you've been, grinding so hard through AAA and all that. You finally get called up. This is your moment. You shouldn't let it get away from you. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what it's about, hopefully.
Yeah. So it seems so he was batting really well with the White Sox. And then the second after he hit that 3-0 home run that Tony La Russa criticized him on, his average went down the shitter. He was batting under 200.
I thought it got to like 0.7 or something at some point.
It was something bad. But anyways, he gets sent down to AAA. He's batting 309 in AAA. So this is just me thinking about everything. I think Tony La Russa had to do with him wanting to leave baseball. And I mean that in all seriousness. Like, I really think Tony La Russa is part of what he did. And I'm going to be a little bit bold here. He gets traded by the deadline.
Oh, I think he wants. Okay, I didn't think that at all.
I think he wants a new fit. And there are teams that could use a young catcher. I mean, who wouldn't want a young, talented catcher? Sure, he's not the greatest defensively, but his bat is wicked. And yeah, I mean, he started his career like 9 for 9 or some crazy shit like that. So
yeah, he was smoking balls. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to say Tony La Russa is the reason why that happened, and I'm going to say he gets traded by the deadline. I'm saying he's getting a new fresh start somewhere.
Funny you say that. Costa had the same reasoning about La Russa. I didn't necessarily think it was that, but obviously I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, the kid had so much confidence.
The
kid had so much confidence. I mean, he had been down in the minors. He gets a call. He's trying to play for a big contract here. And he smokes a ball, and who knows? They could, I think, was he struggling when he hit that, or was after he hit that?
It was after he hit that. He went like down.
I thought he was struggling, but he was trying to keep his average up, and he hit a home run. Obviously, we talked about that. We had no problem with it, but for a young kid like that to have a manager who he probably respects, surely he's been there a while. He's been around championship teams, so it probably shot his confidence, and that's probably where it led us to.
Yeah, just super weird situation. I hope everything personally is fine with him. That's just my own theory of what everything that was said and the wording of everything, like apologizing and stuff, which was weird apologies. So that was the one thing that really threw me off. But, he's back for now. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he does get traded and wants the new scenery. Last thing I want to cover with, which kind of came out about an hour ago, DeAndre Hopkins tweeted out and then deleted it.
We
that
deleted it. Oh, okay.
he did delete it. I saw it was a deleted tweet. He said that. Ooh, sorry. He said that he never thought he'd be saying this, but due to the NFL and their COVID policies and me being unvaccinated, I'm questioning playing. Like, so what? I mean, I just want to get. I mean, do you think he's going to retire? How? No. Okay.
No, I don't think he's retiring at all. It's certainly an interesting topic. Obviously, this is going on around not just football, but sports, businesses, anything that runs really in the world.
Yeah.
It's certainly interesting how what their protocols are in, forfeiting games, with going salaries. I think it's interesting. There also needs to be a talk with, because obviously vaccinated people can get it as well. Do they have to, are they forfeiting?
They have different protocols. They basically, if you're unvaccinated, you can't be with your team. You are separately isolated.
Yeah, and that gets tricky. Obviously, we're both vaccinated, but I don't know. That is, I don't know. I might draw a line, but it's interesting, like, because obviously people can do what they want. There's nothing wrong if they don't, but separating them out, and then because we've seen vaccinated people get it, what happens with them? They have like no consequences, even though they need to isolate, and then it just it gets tricky. I think they'll figure it out because they figured it out last year. Everyone's adjusting, but it's interesting. I don't think he's going to retire at all. He's too talented. He loves the game. Some of these guys are tweeting a little bit too much before they speak.
I think it's just in the moment. Like in the moment, he's pissed off about this, and he's gonna take some time to cool down, and he'll be fine in a bit. I think that's what it is with him. But yeah, I just want to get your thoughts on that. I know there's other sports stuff to cover, but I'm gonna keep that for another episode. The Seattle Kraken expansion draft, NHL draft is tomorrow. Opening ceremonies for the Olympics are tonight. So we got some Team USA stuff going on. But George, let them know where everyone can find your podcast with Jacob and Josh.
Of course. Hopefully, we won't be having many more of those me missing for 5 minutes because my Wi-Fi randomly goes out. But Instagram and Twitter at @THHoopers. I also personally post on my Twitter G_Martin21. I'm a lot more active there as well. You can tweet me. I tweet a lot of stuff. You can respond. Josh and I, we talk all the time on there. And yeah, we also post on YouTube. Same at @THHoopers. Follow us. Follow us on Instagram. I'd say the Twitter account doesn't really get much attention. Instagram is doing a lot better. Lehman handles it really well, and he wants to interact with people. So please give him attention. He needs it.
All right. Yeah. And you can find me, J_sports_podcast on Instagram, at Josh Nowakowski on Twitter, and all of that. And I think that's going to wrap it up today. So until next time, this has been Joshua Nowakowski of the J Sports Podcast. Peace.